Buenos dias from Guatemala. This is my first time in this country and I'm super excited to be exploring a new country and bringing you some new content. In today's video, we will begin to unravel Lake Atitlán and explore 4 of the 12 villages that surround the lake. People usually choose one of these villages to base themselves as visitors to Lake Atitlán, and each has their own vibe and different activities. And so if you're planning a trip to Lake Atitlán, this video should help you decide which village would be best for you to base yourself. And as usual, I left some timestamps in the description below in case you want to skip ahead or come back to certain sections later. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video to be of value. Lake Atitlán is located in southwest Guatemala and lies at about 1,500 meters or 5,000 feet above sea level. The Nahuatl word Atitlán means at the water or between the water, but some more nuanced interpretations suggest the word should be understood as the place where rainbows get their colors, given its role in refracting light to produce the colors of the rainbow. The lake was created by a series of volcanic eruptions over millions of years, and the last eruption is thought to have occurred about 85,000 years ago, causing the volcano to collapse after a huge eruption, creating a large crater-like depression in the earth that filled with water from nearby rivers and eventually became the Lake Atitlán that we see today. After this last major eruption, the 3 volcanoes we see around the lake formed, including Atitlán, Tolomán, and San Pedro. Volcano Atitlán is still active while the other 2 volcanoes are inactive. There are 12 villages located around the lake, but in this video we'll cover only 4 of them, including Panajachel, San Pablo, San Juan, and San Marcos. Most of the local population around the lake are Kaqchikel and Tz'utujil, 2 Mayan groups that have maintained much of their culture and identity due to their relative isolation from mainstream Guatemala. Archaeological evidence suggests that lakeside communities extend as far back as 1000 to 600 BC, about the time the Mayan civilization began. And in 1998, a scuba diver accidentally discovered ancient Mayan ruins submerged underwater in the lake, dating as far back as 400 BC. This site, known as Samabaj, was built on a small island that used to be in the middle of the lake, but is thought to have disappeared beneath the surface after a volcano erupted and increased the water levels. This discovery has been called the Mayan Atlantis, and theories suggest that the island was once a site of religious pilgrimage for the Mayans. Lake Atitlán continues to be a sacred place of deep spiritual significance for the local Mayans. Several places around the lake are thought to be imbued with sacred energy, where local shamans continue to host ancestral worship, healing rituals, and fire ceremonies. Many spiritual seekers from around the world have also been called to its magical shores for contemplation, transformation, and healing. But the lake is not just for spiritual seekers. Lake Atitlán also offers many outdoor activities such as swimming, scuba diving, kayaking, paddleboarding, hiking, and rock climbing. Regardless of whether you come as a spiritual seeker, an outdoor enthusiast, or merely a curious traveler seeking culture, rest, and relaxation, most visitors agree that Lake Atitlán is a beautiful and magical destination. Panajachel is the busiest and most commercial of the 4 towns, and it's the first stop for most visitors at Lake Atitlán. Pana, as the locals like to call it, has a nice walking street with lots of colorful textiles and other souvenirs for sale, as well as several restaurants, cafes, and bars that line the street. There's also an interesting museum where you can go and learn about how the lake was formed, and where you can see artifacts discovered at the underwater Mayan ruins. Pana also has a beautiful Malecón to walk along with some of the best views of the lake and volcanoes. For me, this was the best part of my stay in Pana. I spent many mornings walking along the Malecón, taking in the beautiful views of the magical lake and volcanoes in the backdrop. It's also the gateway to many of the other villages around the lake by boat. A short trip by boat is the only way to reach many of the villages because there are few roads for land vehicles to travel around the lake and between the lakeside towns. Locals call these boats Lanchas, and they leave regularly every day, with the last returning trips to Pana between 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. before it gets dark. I based myself in Pana for a month, and it was a great base to explore many of the other villages. But for my next visit, I would choose to stay at one of the other villages with more laid-back vibes. But Pana is still a great option to base yourself, particularly for first-timers who want to spend some time exploring the other villages during their stay. San Pedro is a laid-back Tz'utujil village where many young backpackers choose to stay. The vibe here is much more relaxed compared to Pana, and there is a small beach with beautiful views of the lake from a different angle. There are also several places around the village where you can rent kayaks and paddleboards for lake adventures. San Pedro is also a great place to base yourself if you want to hike San Pedro Volcano, particularly if you want to take in the sunrise. And as you wander around, you can also admire the interesting and eclectic street art all over the village. The village also has several nice lakefront restaurants with outdoor terraces overlooking the lake. My favorite restaurant is called Pita sa Beach, serving Middle Eastern food from an open kitchen with a great menu that includes vegetarian and vegan options. Their pita wraps and shawarma are delicious, and the view, service, and vibe are all fantastic. I ate here several times and was never disappointed. And if you're craving a relaxing pool day, you can buy a day pass at Samabaj Resort to have some poolside drinks and lunch and chill and relax with views of the lake. San Pedro is a great option for the outdoor enthusiasts who want to be very active during the stay, with many options for hiking, paddleboarding, and kayaking. San Juan is a beautiful and colorful Tz'utujil village with a nice local vibe. As you wander around, you'll discover several art galleries, textile shops, and women's cooperatives focused on traditional weaving. You can also sneak peeks of local artists working on their next piece of colorful art. Bright colors are everywhere you turn in this village. It's the most colorful village to wander around in, and for this reason, one of my favorite villages at the lake. It also feels like it's the most authentic of the 4 villages. You can also take a short hike up to a nice mirador with spectacular views of the lake. San Juan is a great base for those visitors interested in local culture and art, learning about Mayan weaving, and just wandering around a very colorful and vibrant town. San Marcos is a tranquil village with several bohemian shops, cafes, and restaurants that line the main trail coming up to the town from the dock. This village attracts many spiritual seekers of yoga, meditation, and other spiritual practices, and you will see lots of ads for all kinds of spiritual workshops and ceremonies. As ancient Mayan beliefs and traditions mingled with imported spiritual practices, the lake has been characterized in many different ways. Some say it's the center of the universe where earth, sky, and underworld converge, or a portal to another dimension, or a sacred energy vortex with great healing power, or a realm of spiritual energy capable of profound transformation. Regardless of what you believe, the vibe here is very peaceful and chilled out, inviting visitors to relax, reflect, and contemplate. There's also a beautiful nature reserve nearby where you can watch or participate in cliff jumping, chill out on the rocks, go swimming, or hike around the nature reserve for some spectacular views of the lake and volcanoes. San Marcos is a good base for those interested in chilling out, doing some lakeside yoga, meditating, or participating in one of the many spiritual workshops or ceremonies. So I hope that this video inspires you to visit Lake Atitlán if it's not already on your radar. And if you're planning a trip to Lake Atitlán, I hope it helps you decide which village is best for you to base yourself at. And like I said, Pana was a great option for a month for me, but the next time that I go to Lake Atitlán, I would definitely choose San Juan or San Pedro for more laid-back vibes. And the other bonus of choosing one of these villages is that they're connected by a road, and so you kind of get 2 for the price of 1, so it's an easy tuk-tuk between the 2. And stay tuned for my next video coming to you from the charming city of Antigua. Thanks for watching. Wander Yonder.